Hi, this is Marcel of Marcel on Tech, and today we are talking about this very impressive flagship device from Google. It is the Google Pixel 9 XL or 9 Pro XL. Oh, really long monikers now. This device has surprised me, and I've got a few things I want to share with you. So let's get into it. So I've had this device now for the last 5 days or so, and I have to say, I think my honest opinion of this device is that it is the best Pixel phone that has ever been released. That goes without saying, but I also think in terms of design and in the hand feel, and I'm going to come back to that in a little bit, that it is the best handheld device I've actually had this year. Now that is quite a statement, to be honest, because normally the Google Pixels sort of fly under a little bit of the radar for me, but this one, what they've been able to do and the work that they've done on the design of this has been nothing short of brilliant. And here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in the hand feel. The in the hand feel is absolutely brilliant. Normally, I like rounded edges on phones, but this one has got both flat and rounded edges. So if you've ever held an iPhone in your hand, to look at, this thing looks like an iPhone, okay? One of the new ones from 2022 and so on forward. Flat sides, quite thick bodied, well weighted, but there is a fundamental difference. There are chamfered edges on this device, which is of course the Pixel, and it is just much more comfortable to hold. I was very surprised when I first saw this. I saw the comparisons. You may have seen my shorts as well. If you follow the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. If you follow my channel, you'll see that the comparison between the iPhone 15 Pro Max and this is very, very similar. You could easily get them confused, aside from the camera bump, of course. Sideways on, or from looking at the front without noticing the camera bezel or the camera bump there, it is almost identical in terms of this sort of shape and design. And funnily enough, Google were actually picked up on the fact that it looks very, very similar to the iPhone. But their argument was that this was a natural evolution of ergonomics in the hand and technological advancement, whatever. Either way, the most important thing for me is that I actually prefer this. I like the design of the iPhone, but I've never loved it. I really like this design with the metallic edges. It's obviously not buffered, so it is a little bit reflective. I really don't care. I think that actually makes it look more valuable. It's a little bit fingerprinty, but the Hazel version that I have here is absolutely gorgeous in the hand. And just to hold, it's so comfortable to put by your ear. Obviously, it's a slab of glass that you're putting by your ear, but to hold in your hands. I bought a case for it, a protective case, but I actually find myself taking this off daily just because I love to hold this in my hand. And therefore, when you're consuming media content on this gorgeous panel, it's fantastic. It's very, very comfortable to hold. It's really well weighted. Because of this camera bump, you actually get a bit of a shelf here as well. So you can even hold onto it a little bit easier with your left or your right hand. So it's actually extremely well positioned. And it's very, very comfortable to hold. Of course, you're going to have your little finger underneath as well if your hands are a bit smaller. But my hands are quite big, so I can choose which way I want to hold it. And I feel that this is just a world away and very, very comfortable in the hand. Now, continuing on around just to look at the design features, you've got the volume rocker right next to each other, and you've got the power button above it. It is quite high, but again, they've positioned it well. So for your average hand that's going to hold onto the sides of this candy bar, you can reach both buttons. It's not too high up. Admittedly, there is no differentiation. So for example, sometimes the volume or the power button have got little gradients on it depending on your brand. These are both very smooth, so you can sometimes confuse them. But again, you got it in a case, it's going to be much easier to differentiate. But on this phone, I really, really love it. And they are obviously different sizes, so you can feel which one is which. Continuing around, you do have slightly upgraded and changed speaker grills. So it's no longer a grill, it's just a slit. If I'm honest, The sound quality is not quite as loud as I would want it to be, but the only reason that that's a problem is because sometimes if I'm in my car and I'm waiting, I might put a video on. I will charge it in my car using the wireless charging, which is built in, but the sound is not quite as loud as other devices such as the Samsung S24. But this isn't bad at any rate, and the sound quality when you're in a good environment is really good. There's even a little bit of bass because, of course, this is quite a thick device. But I feel it's really well weighted in the hand because it's even lighter than the iPhone Pro Max, despite this being slightly taller. Then, of course, the piece de resistance is going to be your screen. The screen quality is absolutely brilliant. Now, I'm not going to get into the specs because they've been done. Everyone's spoken about them. If you want to look them up, you can. I'll put a link in the description for the specs of this device from the likes of GSM Arena. But just to look at this, it is bezel to bezel. It is extremely even. Now, if you've seen that the iPhone 16 has just been released, they are getting very, very close, I think, to being on a similar level in terms of the quantity of screen real estate. And I actually think the similarities are getting even closer. So for this device, which is cheaper than your average iPhone, or especially the iPhone Pro, this is, of course, your vanilla Android. It's not yet running Android 15, but Android 14 is absolutely brilliant. And then we get into the AI smarts. Now, what I've been using AI smarts for is for search. So Gemini, which is of course the Google version of their artificial intelligence, is actually much better than I thought it was going to be. I was using it integrated by typing, but I recently had, because with this you actually get upgraded to Gemini Advanced. You get to use it for 1 year for free, which is brilliant as an experimentation period, and then you can decide if you want to carry on or not. If you want to know more about Google Gemini, put a comment below as I can make a dedicated video about that because there is a huge amount to learn about it. But the integrations here for AI in relation to Gemini is really, really good. And actually the conversational side of it is brilliant. The other part of the software that I really like is inside the phone app. When you receive a phone call now, you can actually have phone screening, which means for those people in the EU, they've had it in the US for a couple of years. In the EU, you can now select to screen your phone call so that the system or the phone answers it for you and responds to the person in your native language. Now, I'm in Spain, so it will respond to the caller in Spanish, explaining to them that it is an automated service. Now, the best part about that is that if you have a spam call, those calls will drop off very, very quickly. You don't have to waste your time. And if it's a real call, the person will listen, respond, you see their response, and then you can answer the call yourself, or you can continue to communicate with them via the phone. It is really cool, really well integrated, and not a gimmick. It's one of those things where it could easily have become a gimmick, but because it's been tried and tested and fine-tuned, it actually works really, really well. And the integration here, because of course this is the Google phone, and of course security features. This device has got two massively advantageous security devices, which is of course an ultrasonic fingerprint reader, which works every time really quickly. And of course it's got facial ID as well. So as soon as you have the screen face down and it lights up, it will look at your face and then it will unlock for you. So it is very, very fast and really, really reliable. So both those features, which haven't been present actually on Pixels before, particularly the Face ID wasn't always very reliable or even present. And this is an ultrasonic fingerprint reader. So it is a level up, much more secure, much more reliable as well. So you cannot go wrong. Finally, for this video, the camera. The Google Pixel cameras are notoriously excellent. You will not be disappointed with images or video on this device. I'm not going to talk into too much detail because again, that can be another video. And if you do want a comparison video of photos, make sure you put a comment below. But the camera app on the Pixel is notoriously really robust. This takes it to a whole nother level. You can have simplistic point and shoot photos where you just snap the best photo you can in either high definition, ultra high. You've got 8K video if you want it, which can be from the Video Boost, which is an upgrade in your video quality if you upload it to the Google servers, or you can shoot in 4K, which for 90% of people is perfectly adequate, more than that actually. For 100% of people, 4K is brilliant. There's only a very special subset that might want 8K, but the video quality, the stabilization, even the video correction for lighting is really good. So this device, the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, is becoming on par, I feel, with the iPhone. And I think that Google have really outdone themselves with this device, and it is a very strong competitor, as it should be for the likes of iPhone, who have by far been leading the way in videography and photography, particularly videography, for far too long, and there hasn't been a very, very strong contender. But the Pixel 9, I feel, has been absolutely brilliant. And I've shot a couple of videos using this device, and it's seamless, quick, and very, very efficient. And what I will be doing as well is editing this video on this device to also see exactly what the quality and the speed is like as well, because it's running their own Tensor 4 chip, which is not necessarily the fastest chip, but to be honest, we're at a point with phone tech now where they are able to cope with most apps really demanding really, really well. And in Finale, talking about the chipset, gaming. Gaming on here on the screen is absolutely gorgeous, absolutely seamless. There has been very little lag. I've been hard pushed. I've had no errors, no app crashes, nothing like that. No accidental restarts, which don't tend to happen nowadays. But installing big, heavy games on this device have been quick, easy, and the gameplay has been fantastic. The screen is absolutely gorgeous, like I say. And obviously it will heat up, but it is a metal-bodied frame, and obviously the idea of the heating in the hand is that it is designed to dissipate the heat, but it cools down very quickly once you stop playing the game. And even when you're in a game, obviously what it will do is throttle down the power a little bit, but I haven't noticed any changes in game quality. I'm not an expert gamer, so I wouldn't say that, but for your average game player, unless you're playing really intense games for more than half an hour, you're never going to know. It is fantastic. And if you pop it in a case, you're going to feel that heat even less. So absolutely brilliant. I've been really impressed and would highly recommend this device to anybody if you wanted one of the best Android devices on the market, and even a solid competitor to the iPhone 16 that's soon coming out as well. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some real value from that. Don't forget to put your comments below and to like and subscribe. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want more videos on this device, make sure you put a comment. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.